Alright, welcome everyone to my weekly watch list video. My name's Sagar, and I'll be running through some charts that I think we need to keep an eye out for the week of January 11th, 2021. So the format of these videos will probably evolve as time passes, but I'm basically using this medium to track my progress in 2021. 2020 was a good year. I think there's a level of consistency and that I'm looking for in 2021, and I think there's also a level of accountability that I'm looking for in 2021. And I think creating videos and sharing it with the FinTwit community would definitely provide that. So let's go ahead and just dive straight into it. So I use typically TC2000. I use that with TD Ameritrade. I am a swing trader. I work full time, so don't really get to take a look at charts that often, but yeah, so that makes me a swing trader. My holding time is probably around 4 to 5 days in 2020. I think one of the things that I want to do in 2021 is definitely expand that to hopefully 7 to 10 days. I've diving into some of the trades in 2020. I realized that that's sort of been a big issue, taking profits early, which I know is an issue for most new traders. Alright, so let's just dive into it. You're looking at API here. You're looking at TC2000 is the charting platform. I'll just walk you through what I have usually listed in all the charts. I use a 20-day moving average. I also use a 50-day moving average. I use volume at price bars that you see here. I also use anchored VWAPs, and then I have volume down here. I typically don't use RSI, but I do like to have it, especially for when I'm looking at the Qs or SPYs. So looking at API, Agora Inc., it's a software company. It IPO'd in middle of 2020. It's building a nice little base here. Created a low here that you see around the end of November. And you can see we're starting to create a little bit of higher lows. And in fact, if you take a look at around this time period right here, we actually created a higher high. Couple that with the anchored VWAP that we're looking at, and we're starting to see some price consolidation. 3 days above the 20-day moving average. It's one of the signs I look at, holding the 20-day moving average, and multiple attempts to break that anchored VWAP. I can see this going for the week of January 11th. So keep an eye out for that one. Next one we're looking at is Corsair Gaming. You'll see trends with my watch list are typically IPOs, so just like API, we're looking at Corsair Gaming, which IPO'd in late September, and it actually took off and is sort of consolidating a little bit here. We now have the 50-day moving average acting as support. We have the 20-day moving average so far holding for 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candles, and again we have our anchored VWAP here. So price is tightening. Keep an eye out for that one for the week. Next one we're looking at is Zoom Info Technologies, software company. Same deal here, IPO'd back in early June. It's been building a base ever since. We created a low here, so far making higher lows and also making a bit of higher highs here. After we made this higher high, we sort of consolidated. And one of the things I'd like to take a look at is seeing if the anchored VWAP from the IPO date that you see here, so this black line right here, holds, and on this most recent dip, so far it's indicating that it's holding a little bit better than it did back in the middle of December. So let's see how this one can go from here, see if we can hold the 20-day moving average, remain over it, and if we can take out about the 4750 level, watch for an uptrend to continue and get out of this base. So Zoom Info is one I like. Visa is another one. You can expand the chart back out to 2019, you can see there's definitely an uptrend that was there. Then you had the COVID volatility, and ever since then it's starting to consolidate at these high levels that you see. And if we zoom in to recent weeks, we popped out of this little anchor VWAP pinch, popped, came back, pulled down to support, holding. I am long Visa, but I'm looking to add maybe some long call options here. So keep an eye out for Visa for next week. TLRY, as we know, wheat stocks popped after the Georgia Senate confirmations. I actually had this as a swing down in this area, sold half of it here, sold the rest of it here. So I have no position, but I will be watching for this one to come out of this base that it's created after having a long downtrend. And you can see the volume at price, the amount of volume that's traded here. Look at these big green spikes that you see. Huge, 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 huge spikes. So I can see that being a trend for 2021. Money flowing into marijuana stocks. As for how to play them specifically, I don't have the 9 EMA on here, but I do have it on my other chart. I will probably watch for the 9 EMA to act as support and buy on any dip there. So currently no position here, but will look to create a position. Next one, small direct club. Again, same vein as all the other items. A IPO back in 2019. It's basically been basing. There's some good volume accumulation that you can see here. You can see the anchored VWAP from the IPO date has started to hold, and now we're not even coming down to that level. We did have a pop on this day that subsequently sold off, but we had the 50-day hold. And now if we look at on Friday, we had the 20-day hold. So let's see if we can hold for a few candles. If we can get the 20-day to act as some sort of support, then we can see a uptrend hopefully come out of this base range breakout. All right, AMD is the next one. Not much to say about here except it's been consolidating close to highs and even has created recent highs here. So watch for this as a trend continuation. We've gone over the 20-day moving average. There's a little bit of resistance at the high on this day, which was 96.06. We saw it sort of act here and then here as well, where price rejected. But if we can get over that, AMD will be at new highs. Sticking to semis, NVDA, same situation there. Nice uptrend. Now we're consolidating. We do have the 50-day moving average above the 20-day, so don't really like that, but that's okay in this case. There's just so much strength here. I do have an anchored VWAP at this date over here. It is acting as resistance, so let's see if we can close above the 538 range for NVIDIA. eBay is next. So same concept here. eBay had a nice little uptrend here after COVID, or after the COVID market recovery, still going through COVID. Now we have a little bit of flagging happening. We made a low here. We did break that low subsequently here, but we never came back to these lows. And so we're starting to make some higher lows here, and we even created a higher high here on the closing candle on Friday. So watch for this to create or continue its uptrend after this few months of consolidation. DOCU, same situation here. Nice little uptrend. Didn't really even have too much of a pullback during COVID. Now it's been consolidating. Nice little consolidation with higher lows. Finally got over the 20-day and we're holding for a few candles. Let's see if we can break this resistance level here, sort of confirmed by the volume at price bars. A little bit of gap in volume here, as you can obviously tell. So expect to see this create an uptrend if the market continues its insane run. Next one, GOGO. Again, same concept. Nice little run, consolidation. We have the anchored VWAP at this date acting as resistance. So let's see if we can get above and close the 1075 level. It's held the 20-day moving average for 1, 2, 4 candles. Great sign. Let's see if we can get above this for a new uptrend. PLL. So we're starting to get into a little bit of more volatile names here. So PLL is in the clean energy sector. It's a lithium. I wonder if it's a miner or producer. And it had a big gap up after a few days of halts. It's been consolidating that move, has finally gotten over a bit of this hump here, and actually it's starting to get away from its 20-day moving average, so demand is definitely coming in at these higher price levels. Watch for a day for it to go a little bit, let's see, above, what is this, above 3740. And we can see it start going a little bit more parabolic, especially if volume starts coming in. So keep an eye out for that one. MDLA, another software company, somewhat of a recent IPO back in 2019. Nice base here, really love it. So we made a low here, made a higher low here, remounted the VWAP from the anchored on the IPO date. And we even made a higher low here. So nice little consolidation. May reject, but if we can hold the 20-day, I will go long above this 3560 level. So keep an eye out for MDLA. DKNG, DraftKings was a big winner for us or for me in 2020. Nice little move, consolidation, another move to pull back. And now we're starting to see if we can continue with the uptrend here. A few anchored VWAP, so you can see you got an anchored VWAP from this high, an anchored VWAP from here, and then an anchored VWAP at this. So got price pinching this level. Finally got over all the VWAPs. We're over the 20-day moving average. See if we can hold. If we can clear the 54 level, we can go in an uptrend here. I believe this is a SPAC. I know a lot of people have been playing that. I myself have missed quite big moves in the SPAC sector, or not sector, but field. So VGAC, we have two anchored VWAPs. We have a nice little consolidation in price. We got a high here, pretty close high here, and then we have some lows holding here. So going sideways, we have had price take over this higher VWAP level with some good volume. I mean, we got 2 million shares here traded on Friday. So let's see if we can get some continuation here. Watch for the 20-day moving average to hold, curl upwards. We can go long, probably on this pivot right here, or even above the high on Friday, which was 1186. Next one, OZON. Some folks have been tweeting about this one as well. Same concept, IPO'd back in November, middle of November of 2020, so pretty recent. Nice little consolidation came out of it. Some good volume. I'll probably ignore this upper wick here. I think, if we're getting above these price levels, then there's demand coming in at higher price levels. So hopefully that continues. Keep an eye out for that one. And the final one on my list, NNOX Imaging. Again, recent IPO back in August of 2020. Nice little consolidation. Here's the high. Since then, just making higher lows and has been consolidating. So let's see if we can get out of this little flag. We're above the 20-day moving average. We're starting to get above this anchor VWAP. Looks like we actually may have rejected here. But if we can get over these levels, this 55 level here, watch for NNOX Imaging to create new highs. It's got a nice little base, good volume. Could see this one ripping. The reason that I like to look at IPOs, they tend to rip 50, 60, 100%. So that's, as a swing trader, that's sort of what I'm going for, to capture that bigger new trend moves out of bases that have been created for a few months. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be creating these every week. Let me know what kind of feedback you have. If it's too hard to read the charts, I'm going a little bit quickly. And feel free to follow me on Twitter and we can engage from there. Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good one.